Rita, a single mother, wants a good future for her children. She knows that education will help achieve that, so she pays additional contributions to FNPF to save up for tertiary education fees. Apete works in Suva and supports his parents in the village. He wishes to build his own home, so he pays additional contributions to help him achieve this dream. FNPF's additional contributions helps you invest in short-term goals while saving for retirement. Contribute more, grow your savings, and achieve your goals. FNPF, securing your future.
Retirement. We'll all get there one day. With FNPF's new retirement product, the Drawdown Account, you can plan for an enjoyable and sustainable retirement. The Drawdown Account is a tax-free investment, and account holders receive a monthly income, one partial withdrawal a year, receive interest at the end of the financial year, amongst other benefits. For more information, log on to our website www.myfnpf.com.fj. FNPF, securing your future.
Presenting My FNPF app, granting you seamless entry to your FNPF account from any location at any time. With important information and services delivery right at the tip of your fingers, managing your retirement funds has never been more convenient. Check your account balances, make additional contributions, view withdrawal history, and monitor your employees' contributions all in one place. You can even pay voluntary or additional contributions via M-Paisa, BSP EasyCard, Visa or MasterCard. You can also apply for withdrawal on the mobile app for education, unemployment, advice of death and funeral assistance. You can even register a minor above 6 years old or become a volunteer member effortlessly through our user-friendly interface. Acquire account statements and stay informed about every aspect of your retirement funds. My FNPF app, your fund, your future at your fingertip. Download it today on Google Play Store or Apple App Store.
Rita, a single mother, wants a good future for her children. She knows that education will help achieve that, so she pays additional contributions to FNPF to save up for tertiary education fees. Apete works in Suva and supports his parents in the village. He wishes to build his own home, so he pays additional contributions to help him achieve this dream. FNPF's additional contributions helps you invest in short-term goals while saving for retirement. Contribute more, grow your savings, and achieve your goals. FNPF, securing your future.
Retirement. We'll all get there one day. With FNPF's new retirement product, the Drawdown Account, you can plan for an enjoyable and sustainable retirement. The Drawdown Account is a tax-free investment, and account holders receive a monthly income, one partial withdrawal a year, receive interest at the end of the financial year, amongst other benefits. For more information, log on to our website www.myfnpf.com.fj. FNPF, securing your future.
Presenting My FNPF app, granting you seamless entry to your FNPF account from any location at any time. With important information and services delivery right at the tip of your fingers, managing your retirement funds has never been more convenient. Check your account balances, make additional contributions, view withdrawal history, and monitor your employees' contributions all in one place. You can even pay voluntary or additional contributions via M-Paisa, BSP EasyCard, Visa or MasterCard. You can also apply for withdrawal on the mobile app for education, unemployment, advice of death and funeral assistance. You can even register a minor above 6 years old or become a volunteer member effortlessly through our user-friendly interface. Acquire account statements and stay informed about every aspect of your retirement funds. My FNPF app, your fund, your future at your fingertip. Download it today on Google Play Store or Apple App Store.
Rita, a single mother, wants a good future for her children. She knows that education will help achieve that, so she pays additional contributions to FNPF to save up for tertiary education fees. Apete works in Suva and supports his parents in the village. He wishes to build his own home, so he pays additional contributions to help him achieve this dream. FNPF's additional contributions helps you invest in short-term goals while saving for retirement. Contribute more, grow your savings, and achieve your goals. FNPF, securing your future.
Retirement. We'll all get there one day. With FNPF's new retirement product, the Drawdown Account, you can plan for an enjoyable and sustainable retirement. The Drawdown Account is a tax-free investment, and account holders receive a monthly income, one partial withdrawal a year, receive interest at the end of the financial year, amongst other benefits. For more information, log on to our website www.myfnpf.com.fj. FNPF, securing your future.
Presenting My FNPF app, granting you seamless entry to your FNPF account from any location at any time. With important information and services delivery right at the tip of your fingers, managing your retirement funds has never been more convenient. Check your account balances, make additional contributions, view withdrawal history, and monitor your employees' contributions all in one place. You can even pay voluntary or additional contributions via M-Pesa, BSP EasyCard, Visa or MasterCard. You can also apply for withdrawal on the mobile app for education, unemployment, advice of death and funeral assistance. You can even register a minor above 6 years old or become a volunteer member effortlessly through our user-friendly interface. Acquire account statements and stay informed about every aspect of your retirement funds. My FNPF app, your fund, your future at your fingertip. Download it today on Google Play Store or Apple App Store.
Rita, a single mother, wants a good future for her children. She knows that education will help achieve that, so she pays additional contributions to FNPF to save up for tertiary education fees. Apete works in Suva and supports his parents in the village. He wishes to build his own home, so he pays additional contributions to help him achieve this dream. FNPF's additional contributions helps you invest in short-term goals while saving for retirement. Contribute more, grow your savings, and achieve your goals. FNPF, securing your future.
Presenting My FNPF app, granting you seamless entry to your FNPF account from any location at any time. With important information and services delivery right at the tip of your fingers, managing your retirement funds has never been more convenient. Check your account balances, make additional contributions, view withdrawal history, and monitor your employees' contributions all in one place. You can even pay voluntary or additional contributions via M-Pesa, BSP EasyCard, Visa or MasterCard. You can also apply for withdrawal on the mobile app for education, unemployment, advice of death and funeral assistance. You can even register a minor above 6 years old or become a volunteer member effortlessly through our user-friendly interface. Acquire account statements and stay informed about every aspect of your retirement funds. My FNPF app, your fund, your future at your fingertip. Download it today on Google Play Store or Apple App Store.
Rita, a single mother, wants a good future for her children. She knows that education will help achieve that, so she pays additional contributions to FNPF to save up for tertiary education fees. Apete works in Suva and supports his parents in the village. He wishes to build his own home, so he pays additional contributions to help him achieve this dream. FNPF's additional contributions helps you invest in short-term goals while saving for retirement. Contribute more, grow your savings, and achieve your goals. FNPF, securing your future.
Miss Mbulwinaka, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience and welcome to the Fiji National Provident Fund Annual Member Forum for the 2024 financial year. I'd also like to welcome our viewers who are joining through our social media platforms on the FNPF Facebook and YouTube pages. My name is Nambotuiloma Kumaisavai, and I will be our MC for the evening. This is always an important event for the fund because it allows us to engage directly with our members, employers, and our pensioners. For those of you who are not aware, the annual member forum is a time for the fund to share performance highlights and achievements for the past financial year. Before we get into the forum proper, I will quickly take us through some housekeeping matters. I hope you have all registered your attendance with our teams and you've received your information packs, which contains our member summary, which is a compact version of our 2024 annual report. Also in the pack are the newsletters and your feedback forms. Your feedback is very important because it tells us what's working or what we can do better. So please do share your thoughts with us. Once you have completed your feedback forms, please hand it over to our team at the back of the room, and you can collect your dinner pack and merchandise afterwards. The washrooms are at the back of the room. Please just be mindful when moving around because we are live streaming this event. And we also implore that we switch our phones to silent or vibrant mode, please. Just before we invite the CEO, I'd like to invite us, if we can bow our heads in prayer. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this beautiful afternoon. We come to you with hearts full of gratitude. We thank you for this opportunity that we can come together as members, pensioners, and employers for a fruitful and insightful discussion. We commit the forum into your hands. We pray for the leaders. We pray for the panelists. We pray for every single member that is here and also those that are joining in online. We pray that you continue to lead us in this discussion and in this forum today. We commit all these things, Lord, in no other name, but in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I now invite the FNPF CEO, Mr. Viliame Vondanevalu, to deliver his presentation.
Yeah, Mulabinaka and good evening, FNPF members, pensioners, and employer. On behalf of FNPF board, management, and staff, I extend my warm welcome to all of you and thank you for being here this evening. I would also like to acknowledge those who are joining us online on Facebook and YouTube page. It's always been a privilege to be given the opportunity to present our annual report and to do so with humility and gratitude. Our forums are legislated and it allows us to share our performance and our achievement for the preceding financial year as well as our plan for the future. So today, presentation is for the 2024 financial year, which is for the period from the 1st of July 2023 to the 30th of June 2024. Our total asset as of June 2024 was 10.6 billion, and of that, members' fund made up 8.1 billion. Members' fund increased by 900 million, which is a 12.5 increase year over year, partly driven by high contribution collection. The general reserve of 2.1 billion comprises the solvency reserve, which we legally require to maintain, and include an investment reserve. We had a net income of 882.1 million, up from a 775.8 million in 2023. From the net income, we deducted our expenses, that leaves 819.4 million as the net increase in net asset. From this amount, we are able to determine the credited interest rate and the amount to be paid to our members. We collected a total of 779.8 million in contribution, an increase of some 238 million from 541.5 collected in 2023. The increase in contribution is linked to more members making additional and voluntary contribution. This is an important slide and information for members and for pensioners to be aware. Prior to the reform, FNPF business was operated under one fund, meaning that members' saving, annuity payment, and the special death benefit were all in one fund. This was identified as one of the main factors contributing to the unsustainability of FNPF. Because of all the fund I've just mentioned, we lumped together in one fund. We now have three funds which cater for specific purpose. FNPF fund contains members' fund and is used to fund the business and operations. SDB fund, where SDB contributions are kept to fund SDB payments. And the pension fund, which contain pension funds and fund pension operation and payment. The asset profile for each of the assets represent the risk and return profile guided by the fund investment policy statement. FNPF fund, which is the second bucket for the right, represent an asset profile with a mix of defensive and growth or risky asset for the purpose of accumulating and growing members' fund for retirement. The risk and return profile for this fund ensure that we continue to provide a competitive crediting interest rate to members and DDA account holders. SDB funds and retirement funds. These are the third and last bucket to the right of the slide, and the purpose of this fund is to meet each liability, which are annuity payment and claims. Investment are made heavily in defensive asset and in government bond and cash equivalent, which is referred to as risk-free investment. The return from this investment ensure a guarantee funding of monthly pension payment and special death benefit as they fall due. As you would notice from the slide, and they represent specific, if you can go back to the last slide, the membership number. Membership number for Fnpf existing members is around 423,000. And pension members represent 7,849. So it was quite an important slide for us to be aware of. The investment portfolio grew from 9.4 billion in 2023 to close to 10.6 billion in 2024. Our broad investment objective is to maximize long-term return, subject to constraint, aim at containing the fluctuation in return over a short-term period to ensure an appropriate balance between risk and return. We expanded our investment into resilient sector capable of withstanding economic challenges. Our total investment portfolio is made up of fixed income, equity, commercial lending, properties, and cash and term deposits. I will now go through the achievement of our investment portfolio. Under the fixed income, we had government security, which closed the year at 4.3 billion compared to 4 billion the previous year. The upward shift was due to the higher interest, higher investment, and low maturity. Our investment in quasi-government security closed as 5 million compared to 23 million the previous year. The decline here was due to no float by the quasi-government institution. Most statutory bodies were able to source cheaper short-term funding from commercial banks and due to high liquidity and low interest rate environment. Our total equity portfolio was 3.4 billion, with local equity making up 2.6 billion. The local equity portfolio grew by 13%. This growth was primarily driven by additional capital investment, dividend reinvestment, new acquisition, changes in the fair value investees company, which was driven by their strong financial performance. Significant investment were made in HFC and healthcare of 16.8 million, while dividends were reinvested for Please Global Limited, Fijian Holding Unit Trust, and Unit Trust of Fiji. A significant acquisition was a 40% stake we acquired in Future Farm Limited, trading as Rooster Poultry. This was achieved through a partnership with BSP Life, Fiji Limited, which previously owned 100% of Future Farm. This is another resilient sector that withstand economic challenges. The net income increase to 882.1 million reflects a 8.52 return on investment. I reiterate that we are dedicated to generating robust return and fostering significant financial growth. Our strategic investment diverse portfolio are designed to maximize value, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to enhancing the financial well-being and security of our members. The investment income is linked to the amount of interest that we able to credit to our members' saving in a financial year. I mentioned earlier in my presentation that from our net income, we then deduct our expense, which then leave us with a net increase in net asset This helped us determine the credit interest rate. Over the past 6 years, we have paid members 2.3 billion in interest. You will note that the credit interest rate dipped in financial year 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. From 2022, 2023, and in 2024, the credit interest rate has increased steadily, which reflect the strength of our investment and the returns earned. Our cash holding was valued at 847 million, up from the 640 million in 2023. This increase is attributed to two key factors: the reinstatement of the contribution rate to 18%, which has significantly boosted the amount of fund being allocated, also a market rise in investment activity, the higher contribution rate that have led to greater capital inflows, while the increase in investment activity have enhanced the fund's overall performance and growth. The investment policy statement projects a benchmark for growth asset at 60% and a defensive asset at 40%. The investment universe in Fiji is limited and growth investment are attractive offshore. 90% of our investments are placed in Fiji. However, the fund face constraint in investing overseas. In terms of our offshore equity, we are now the second largest shareholders in BSP Papua New Guinea with more than 49 million shares. Our commercial lending portfolio closed the year at 1.2 billion, reflecting a growth of 4.1%. Total income for the year was 65.3 million compared to 61.3 million last year. Here, the property portfolio value increased by 29.4% and closed the year at 602.4 million. We have three major property acquisitions during the year: the Garden City complex in Raiwai, the warehouse facility, Kalambu tax-free zone, and Natandola Beach Villa. Several of our recent investments, such as the acquisition of share in the Future Farm, trading as Rooster Chicken, and Fletcher Higgins of Fletcher Construction, reflects our forward-looking strategy. The Grand Pacific Hotel mock-up room refurbishment is underway with a contractor and F&E suppliers have been appointed. The project managers for the refurbishment is in tender process, and the full refurbishment is to resume this financial year. Refurbishment of the Westin Fiji Resort commenced in January of 2023, focusing on guest room, central facility, and back-of-house redesign. Practical completion is targeted for August 2025. Our board plays a crucial role in our shaping the strategic direction of the fund and ensuring the integrity of the FNPF governance framework. The Ministry of Economy oversees the appointment of all our board directors as outlined in Section 7 of the FNPF Act of 2011. It is also important to note that the FNPF Act was amended to have a better representation of key stakeholders in the board. This means that the fund board will be representative from employers and employees. These appointments are subject to successful fit and proper assessment conducted by the Reserve Bank of Fiji. There are 4 board subcommittees. Their role is to assist the board in decision making. The members of these subcommittees are appointed based on the technical skill. Under the FNPF Act, the Reserve Bank of Fiji is our regulatory and prudential supervisor. The fund actually signs off on all solvency and financial conditional report every year. We are audited externally, and we are required to table the annual report to Parliament annually. communicate performance of the fund to members annually, which is what we are having here today on the annual members forum. There are 6 non-executive board members. The board chair, Mr. Duchess Patel, was appointed as a director and chairman on the 1st of January in 2024. A chartered accountant by profession, Mrs. Susie Wangai Mbaravi, was appointed as a board director on the 1st of March 2024. She replaced Mr. Mukta Ali, whose term have ended. Net contribution, operation and benefit, a net contribution of 323.2 million was recorded, with a total contribution of 779.8 million against a total withdrawal of 456.6 million. There was a 106% increase in additional contribution to 81 million and an 83% rise in the voluntary contribution by 27.4 million, which shows that the trust that members have shown in the fund. The benefit covers all the pre-retirement and full withdrawal. Under pre-retirement withdrawal, we paid out 122.8 million, while in full withdrawal, total 333.8 million. It must be noted that the benefit payment of 474.2 million includes payment for drawdown accounts and the purchase of annuity or our retirement products. Our membership numbers have increased by 17,279 to 423,144. 62.5% are contributing compulsory and voluntary members. The gender gap is still evident, with women making up 42% of the contributing compulsory members and 42% of the contributing voluntary members. Our pensioners total is 7,849. Over the last financial year, we've recorded 9,176 active employers compared to 8,467 in 2023. Active employers are those who paid the employees' contribution at least once during the financial year. A total of 902 new employers were registered compared to 890 in 2023. Our pensioners total 7,849. Over the last financial year, we recorded 9,176 active employers compared to 8,467 in 2023. Active employers are those who have paid their employees' contribution at least once during the financial year. Policy changes to our early withdrawal grounds resulted in the extension of our education assistance to include global recognized courses and allowing members to purchase laptop. Other policy changes made were the unemployment assistance, which resulted in the stand-down period being revised. Medical assistance was also revised to increase the incidental expense for those members who have medical insurance cover. We signed a memorandum of understanding with the Itauke Land Trust Board to facilitate members' native list application for housing withdrawal. We opened a pension center at the My FNPF Center in Nandi in April of 2024. We closed off the financial year and we've declared an 8% credit interest rate with 572.4 million paid to members. Feedback is an important part of our operation. We've strived to engage with our stakeholders to enhance our services. Our latest customer survey shows a marked improvement in members' satisfaction. While this is an achievement, there's still room to leverage our technology, not only to improve our service deliveries, but also to transform our business processes. There were more than 10,000 customer survey response. We've achieved a satisfaction index of 4.1 out of 5, which is a higher than any international benchmark. This rating is positive for us because it tells us that our members trust and have confidence in the fund. It also reflects our members-centric focus. Off the back of our survey, we embarked on a rebranding campaign to create an integrated marketing and communication strategy. We will be launching this campaign over the next few weeks. Our advocacy session have enhanced our members' understanding of their retirement saving through awareness sessions and community visit throughout the year. By collaborating closely with employers, we've offered retirement literacy awareness sessions, equipping them to support their employees' knowledge of retirement saving. This initiative have led to a significant increase in additional contribution from members. We have extended our outreach session to various centers around Vitilevu as well to Koro, Levuka, and Tavioni. Our team also visited the seasonal workers program in New Zealand as well as Fijian in the United States of America. We've made considerable stride in our digital transformation, impacting various aspects of operations, processes, and strategies. These initiatives are designed to significantly improve the value we provide to our customer. The My FNPF app was enhanced to include two-way communication through messaging, and also members could also submit application for local medical assistance or funeral assistance. The employer self-service portal was enhanced with more than 98% of the employers registered on the portal and now actively using the platform to submit monthly contribution and manage the service and inquiries. Live chat features on the portal have also enhanced communication with our employers. Our plans are aligned to our 5-year strategic plan as we enter the third years of our implementation. We have significant plan to enhance our service to member with a primary goal of ensuring financial sustainability in retirement. While immediate sale may not be feasible, we are focused on long-term success. We will continue to pursue opportunity in our growth strategy to maximize investment return to our member. We are also working closely with our regulator, the Reserve Bank of Fiji, to expand our offshore dealings to enable a more diversified investment approach. Over the next 3 years, we are undertaking a major initiative to review our scheme design and determine the optimal operating model for FNPF, ensuring the best financial outcome for our member. An integral part of our plan is the review of our scheme design and governing legislation. We have reaffirmed our core purpose and pushing through the changes that are needed to improve operation effectiveness. To conclude, I take this opportunity to give glory to the Almighty for His divine guidance and blessings. We could not have succeeded without Heavenly Father's grace and faithfulness. I also acknowledge the guidance of the Chair, the Director of FNPF Board, whose supporters have been invaluable in shaping the fund's decision. I'm also grateful for the dedication of our management and staff, whose commitment and hard works reflected on the fund's accomplishment. So on behalf of the FNPF board, management and staff, I thank the members, the employer, and also our other stakeholders for your ongoing support and look forward to the years ahead and its prospect. Thank you for taking the time to attend our forum. My team and I look forward to answering any of your questions. Vinaka.
Thank you, CEO, for that insightful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now go into our question and answer session. And please note that we have 1 hour for this session. To ensure that we are able to respond to as many questions today, we have included some commonly asked questions in the information pack that you have received. And these would contain information relating to investments, operations, and as well as the pension reforms. We'd appreciate if you could refer to the information we have provided to ensure we make full use of the time set aside for the Q&A session. I now invite our panel to join Mr. Wandonaivalu on the stage. Our panel today, I'd like to introduce them, are the Chief Investment Officer, Mr. Naimbuka Saune, the General Manager, Member Services, Mr. Alipate Wangairawai, and our Chief Finance Officer, Mr. Tevita Lomalangi. Also present is the General Manager, Business and Strategy Development, Ms. Mililu. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please, we'd ask if you'd raise your hand and our team will bring the microphone to you. Please do identify yourself before asking your question. For those of you joining us online, you can ask your questions in the comments section on Facebook and YouTube. Questions can also be sent by SMS or text to the number 9985368, 9985368. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The floor is now open for questions. For those wanting to ask questions, ladies and gentlemen, you may put your hand up and the team is in the room. They will bring the microphone to you. I think we have a question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Suva Basawaya, and I am still employed last time I looked. CEO, can we have an update on the proposed medical insurance scheme that was touted end of last year, beginning of this year, sir?
You're referring to the scheme, medical scheme?
Yes, the proposed medical insurance
We're
scheme.
still under the process at the moment because we need a lot of statistics to validate the best options that we can take through. There's legislative issue too regarding that. So that will come to play once we clarify all the matters.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have any other questions? I think the panel are ready to assist us this afternoon.
Please, you can also ask the question in Fijian or Hindustani, and feel free to ask in whatever language that you're comfortable with, and we can have people interpret it for you. Huh?
Okay, good afternoon to everybody here, and Ram Ram Namaste. I want to ask you something. As a member of your forum, I turned 55 last year on March. And I'm very confused because they said my funds will be going on suspend fund. I only took out 2,000. I had about 28,000 inside left. So I took out 2,000 and the fund is still in the problem fund. I want to know it will go to suspense fund because I'm not banking anything. Right now I'm doing my own small business, started from scratch, selling in Nasori market. I'm making money, but I'm very confused about my funds in problem fund. So if you can explain to me, say today. And my name is Nancy Isha.
If we can ask you to just give us your number, we've got our people at the back there.
Okay.
We can take this off and check your account, and then probably be in a better position to understand what's happening at the. But please be rest assured that if your fund is there, it's there. But probably the team that's out there just probably access will get your number. You can see one of those in the red t-shirts at the back,
Okay.
and then we can deal with that issue.
Thank
Try
you,
to
sir.
find out where the
Funds are going. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pinak.
Thank you. Just to add on to Mr. Wangaroy, for members that are present this afternoon, if you are having any questions that are relating specifically to any withdrawal applications or any specific case, as mentioned by the panel, we have our senior management team and also our officers in the room at the back who will take your number, take your contact, and would be able to advise you along the process. Thank you. We'll take the next question. Naka.
Thank you. Buluvinaka CEO, Buluvinaka Board. My name is Iteri. I would like to ask a question particularly on minor funds. Much has been said about minor funds recently. My question is, what are the plans of the board in regards to the minor funds that currently rest with the judicial department?
Sorry, ma'am. May I request you to please repeat your question?
Thank you. My question is in particular to the FNPF minor funds, which the board also looks after. So in that regard, what are the plans of the board in regards to these minor funds that currently rests or is under the responsibility of the judicial department?
Thank you for that question. I think that's a very relevant question. We are currently in discussions with the Registrar of the High Court and the team at the High Court for the minor accounts. I think we've had a couple of discussions where we've sort of exchanged our. I think we've had about 2 meetings now, and we hope to have another one shortly, hopefully, whereby we will finalize all the discussions and have that in a memorandum of understanding. I think it's important also that members, from our perspective, it's important that our minor accounts are paid interest, which is something that they're missing out when their funds are at the High Court. And that's basically our interest in terms of making sure that whatever portion that's required for the minor to get educated, to buy his school stuff and things like that, that can be administered by the High Court. But the other portion where it is allowed to grow, and that is the discussions that we are having. And I think during the last budget, there was a consequential bill that was also passed, which relates to trustee and minor account. So hopefully we should be able to conclude that shortly. But our interest is to make sure that minors are paid interest on their accounts. You know, I hope that answers your questions.
Thank you. Before we take the next question from the room, we have a question that's coming through our online platform, and I'll probably post this question to the panel. What has happened to the pipeline benefits for members with FNPF hotels and Fiji Airways? And will it ever happen? Probably direct this question to the Chief Investment Officer. What has happened to the pipeline benefits for members with FNPF hotels and Fiji Airways? And will it ever happen?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. Again, the respective entities have their own loyalty programs that also they'll consider. Again, does not necessarily mean that we'll have a bit of a preferential, I guess, agreements with them. Again, they're a business on their own. They do run with their own uh, the boards and decisions that they do make it. But again, I'm sure they're considering that at some point, given the scale that we have as a membership base, about 400,000. So hopefully that they can consider that as well.
Vinaka. Thank you. Can we take the next question from the room? We have questions coming through the online platforms, but before we do get to that, we'd like to invite questions from the floor. The next question that has come from through our online platform: who are the FNPF representatives on the Healthcare Fiji board?
Thank you. The current representatives on the board at HCF as we speak is Mr. Dakshesh Patel and myself on the HCF board.
Thank you, Mr. Sone. We have another question coming through, and it's an investment related question. How secure are FNPF investments? Naka, Mr. CIO.
Thank you. I'm sure that there's a query and answer question on the pack that has been provided. But as you've seen the presentation by the CEO, if you look at the portfolio holdings that we do currently hold, we've been able to be diverse as we can, given the constraints that we face. You've noticed that about 90% is domiciled here in Fiji, and obviously 10% offshore. Again, that's the ongoing constraints that we have to manage as we try to look for investment opportunities. We've also mentioned before is our investment universe is quite limited. So as much as we can to be diverse, given the fund size that we have, you notice that our allocations across both fixed income and growth. So again, for the performance over the past few years reflects the diverse income flows that have come through, which I guess should in itself answer the queries that have been raised. Naga.
Can I just ask Tim to sort of just go to the interest slide, the last 6 years? I think I just want to tie it in with the investments, the question relating to the investments. If you want if you want to see the real benefit of the investments at the FNPF, I would encourage every member that's listening in today and those that are here to make the decisions. The best way to try it out is to put additional contributions into FNPF. If you want to get the benefit of the diversified investment portfolio, all you got to do is just put more money into the fund. Particularly those are young workers that are listening today. If you are 18, 19, 20, you've just started work. Don't underestimate the small percentage that you're allowed to increase your additional contributions. The employer pays 10%, and the employee has 8%. You are allowed to increase the contributions. Don't hesitate to try that out. It's important for you. We've also got tools with our staff that allow you to calculate what your balances be. The power of compound interest is important. And if you see those interest rates, if you go to your papers today, the highest that be paying on the 1 year term deposit is 1.75%. Two institutions are paying 1.75% for 1 year term deposit, and another one is 1.5%. Compare that with the 8%, 7, 6, 5, 5%. There's no comparable savings for that matter. When we talk about savings, the foundations of investment, be it at the Matangali level, at whatever level, it's savings. Since 1966, the fund was set up specifically for savings. And a lot of us are just not utilizing the FNPF. The purpose it was established was for each member to cultivate a habit of savings. And please, most of us talk on the bigger level about, okay, what do we do in order to do an investment? But if you want to start an investment, the foundation of it is savings. You need capital to start whatever you want to do, whether it's farming, whether it's a small stall, or whether it's so the foundation of it is savings. And thus the organization was set up specifically for workers and the people of Fiji to start savings. And I would encourage everyone that's listening tonight, please, those of us that are actually doing this by additionally contributing, we are already seeing the benefits of it, enjoying the benefits of this. Please, we would encourage you to come. Don't hesitate. The minor accounts that was asked, we've opened now minor accounts for your children. As soon as they are born, you can open an account for them. Why? Because we want you to take advantage of the power of compound interest. By the time they reach university age, you don't have to pay for anything. They can pay for those higher education fees for themselves. Even if they don't go on to assume further studies, at least you've started them somewhere. So a lot of us are not utilizing the FNPF properly. I would encourage each and everyone that's listening in tonight, those of you that are here, please, if you want to benefit from the FNPF investments, which Nebuk has just alluded to, you put in more money in FNPF, and you see how quickly it accumulates and grows. Now, William.
Just again, further to that question, there's also, as the CEO has presented, is the external validation that are provided by the governance framework. Obviously, we have the validation through the RBF, who is not only a prudential but also a regulator. And also, at the end of the day, we have the independent auditors and the solvency requirement being met by the actuary. So again, this provides external validations to the fund performance and also how the fund is faring in any given financial year.
Naka, do we have any questions from the floor? We have questions coming through on the online platform. The next one is also investment related. Recently, FNPF has purchased significant property, Garden City, Kalambutex, one buildings and warehouses. Yet we don't see any development plans, any maintenance renovations plans. Only hotels are getting renovations.
Vinaka, again, it's a very fair question. As of the presentation, we have recently acquired Garden City and also the Lindest properties. So this has been acquired for a few reasons. One, obviously, is the diversification of our portfolio in property into warehousing, mixed use, and also Garden City. These are performing assets. Again, with the issue of maintenance, that's something that the team is working very hard on. As you know, here in Fiji, we do not have a facilities management like in other countries where they have these agencies set up to look after this. So we have it at the moment that we're trying to make sure that we address this maintenance aspect as well. And I think that's something that we've continued to listen to our tenants. In terms of development, I think the fund is now going through a phase whereby whatever the existing land parcels that they do have to look at activating those for the benefit of the members. Naka.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take the next question from the floor. Thank you. We do have a gentleman there.
Thank you. My name is John. I'm a member. Thank you to the CEO for your detailed presentation. I'd like to pose this question to each of you that's seated here this evening. As clearly stated in your annual brief summary about investments. Now, talking about investments which Fiji National Provident Fund prides itself on, as the figures speaks for itself. I'd like to make a statement before I move on to the question. I do apologize for that. Now, as per a recent UNDP Pacific Office statement dated the 26th September 2024, it states that Fiji's exclusive economic zone is 70% larger than its landmass and is ranked as the 26th largest sovereign ocean space in the world. Now, my question to the management team is exploring the potential of the maritime services in Fiji, just like how our Fiji National Provident Fund has invested 93.1 million of our money for a 30.02% stake in Fiji Airways, our national carrier. So the question here is, will it be worthwhile exploring for Fiji National Provident Fund to tap into this area, which has great potential for investment in the not so distant future? It's something that I would prefer if this could also be taken up to the board as part of your agenda. Naka.
Thank you. I think it's a valid question given the location and also the maritime, like most Pacific Islands. I think maybe just a set of differences. The Fiji Airways obviously is an existing business that already has, uh, I would say, a brownfield business that's already running and is existing. And for the fund, exploring this is obviously we need to work with a strategic partner that knows this business. We are mere capital allocators. So we'll need to look at someone who is able to push through that. If you look at the current maritime arrangements, most are still subsidized at the moment. And looking for sufficient scale is something that we look at. And for any businesses that have a scalability element is something that we would explore. But again, that is something that has to be considered in the wider context of how we address few things is the social aspect, but also a returns mandate to go back to the funds in terms of investment opportunity, how we can scale this, the management of it, and so forth. But again, point taken and something that we'll consider.
Thank you. I think I just add a bit more to FNPF is basically an investment organization. That's what it does. It's an investment fund. For without investments, we can't pay the kind of returns. Because it's important to make sure that we keep investing the contributions that we collect every month. And that's why it's important for us to keep looking for opportunities for investments. And it's important that we continue looking for those investment opportunities, because it's no use putting all the monies that we collect into the bank, because you get virtually you're not earning much. You need to keep investing those monies to earn the kind of returns that our members are getting used to. And of course, when you talk about the whole area of food security, you're talking about maritime, what can be utilized in terms of, I know the Prime Minister has gone ahead and said about Ocean of Hope. And I think there are also a lot of things that can be done about our oceans. Our team is constantly on the lookout for opportunities to invest because also of the dearth of local opportunities that are available locally. So, of course, anything that we look at, of course, will have to pass muster in terms of pass the due diligence that all investments are rigorously subjected to. At the end of the day, they should meet those criteria. But other than that, it's important to understand that uh, we are continuously on the lookout for good investment opportunities, and our team is constantly looking out at that. I just also want to make reference to a point that you made about your monies, our monies. We've got a lot of questions about this previously. Okay, it's your monies, but when you really look at it technically, prior to reaching 55, I've always explained it this way. There are three owners to the money. The 10% that's contributed by your employee, the 8% that's contributed by you, and of course any additional contributions. And of course the third owner is the FNPF via the investments that we make and the interest that we pay you at the end of each year. So when you really look at it, there are three owners to those sums of monies. And until you reach 55, when you reach eligibility criteria, you can then make decisions with your own money. Other than that, you are subjected to what is allowable under the approved withdrawal grounds, but you are then allowed to decide on your monies when you reach 55. I thought I'd just make that point and clarify that for all in the audience today.
Renaka, we will take another question coming through our online platforms. Can FNPF consider negotiating with DLTB for minor funds from land lease held with them or maybe unit trust to be deposited at FNPF so they can also enjoy the 8% interest rate?
Vinaka, that's a very good question. I think probably the person that has asked that question is probably reading our minds. We just had our discussions with an LTB last Friday on the same subject because we believe we've told ITLTB that as trustee organizations, we are also trustees for our members. They are also trustees for resource owners and the landowners that they have. That and the discussion is along those lines to try and transfer the monies that they have for minors to ITLTB. We've undertaken to give them a proposal, and hopefully, in fact, we had already done a proposal previously, but we're going to revisit that, and then we had this meeting last Friday, so hopefully the next 2 weeks we will send them a proposal that hopefully will address the question that has been raised.
Thank you. We have a few questions from the floor. Can please raise your hand and the team will bring the microphone to you. Naka.
Thank you. All. My name is Sandra. I'm a member. Just one question on the digital security wise. You've not mentioned of the like our database, the security in the future. Like you said, in the pandemic, what about in the natural cases, disasters? It can talk about that and how will the contingency of keeping those data and going forward in the future in the natural disaster that might occur. Eh? So if can be elaborate on the investments on that area, on how our data has been saved or the backup, and if that could be disclosed. Thank you.
I'll attempt to answer your question. We just went through a cybersecurity audit just recently by a well-known entity, firm from overseas. So we were quite well placed, but we find gaps now that we are trying to manage. In regards to safety, we do the normal processes, backup plan, offsite storing, even considering cloud saving also. So that's all in the process. So we take seriously the our data protection confidentiality. So those process, we do have policy. We also have checks from central bank requirement, RBF, in regards to data integrity and protection that we have to actually been audited every year in that regard.
Thank you, CEO. Yes, cybersecurity you have mentioned. What about the security like in Fiji only? What about the, like I said, in probably you said it will be online or in what is the cloud? But how is that is in the progress, or it's been there already in cloud, or where it's already been outsourced somewhere outside the data, or is it just in locally backup? Both, eh? Okay. That could be like if it's been reviewed and it's been going on, because we want that as also to be presented as a data. Eh? I've just only seen investments. I've only seen members' funds. If that could be presented also in risk areas where our data has been stored, and if we could have that been reviewed and be projected for us to understand it, if that could be also projected in the annual report. Eh?
Note of the question.
Just probably to put the lady at ease, we've got a very robust enterprise risk management framework that covers business continuity and cybersecurity. We were recently audited by an Israeli company that specializes this around the world. So we were subjected to Israeli standards and technology. Not only that, by PwC, they also came in to audit our IT. We also had people try to to break into our systems, but they were not successful. So we're quite uh, we're quite satisfied with what we've done. But then that we are not we are not satisfied with where we are. We are continuously looking to improve. But we take your point about also making that a part of the presentation next year. Vinaka.
Just a question that has come through with regards to benefits and withdrawals. Can FNPF finance IT certification courses, example, Microsoft certification courses, since it will help members further develop skills in the industry? More skills, more money, more contributions.
Can can you repeat that question? I've just couldn't.
Sure, sir. Can FNPF finance IT certification courses and other similar Microsoft certification courses?
I think we are doing that. Somebody can correct me from member services if they're Fanas. Yeah, just give the mic to Fanas. I think we're already doing that at the moment. Subject to it being done by FNU, we are and the relevant recognized institutes. We're already assisting with funding those courses.
Thank you for the question. We do serve members that come to us for certification courses. CPA, as we mentioned in the presentation, is one of them, followed by FINSA. I think the question was for do we assist for Microsoft certification programs? Now, for any program to be assisted, it needs to go through a process. The process is that it needs to be delivered through a institution that passes through the accreditation process that FNPF has in place. With that said, it doesn't mean that the institution, if it's accredited, all their courses will also be through FNPF assistance. The courses itself are also put through the Fiji Higher Education Commission's framework. Now, if these courses are approved and they are in those framework between levels 1 to 7, these courses are assisted. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any other questions from the floor? Lady at the back. Thank you, ma'am.
Bula Marisani is my name. Just a question. We have a lot of Fiji citizens leaving to work abroad. I'm just asking how FNPF is going to work hard to try and capture that increase their membership of FNPF, to get these citizens to be members of FNPF, because the citizens who are going abroad are usually school leavers. So just asking about your strategy.
Vinaka, that's a very relevant question given the reality of labor mobility. We are currently working with the Minister of Employment. Whenever they do their orientation, we are part and parcel of that orientation in trying to onboard every member that goes from here, whether it be with the seasonal worker scheme in New Zealand or the palm worker scheme in Australia. We have been to New Zealand. We've visited employers. We've also invested workers out there. This is where our FNPF app also comes in very useful and handy. We try and board them at the pre-embarkation briefing uh, that's conducted by the ministry here, and our team actually goes and have a one-on-one with them. So that's for those that are going for the seasonal worker scheme in New Zealand and also the palm worker scheme in Australia. And not only that, we've got the Fijian diaspora out there in the United States and Australia. We've been to see them, and we have seen the interest that have actually been shown by our people who are already members of the FNPF, and they are remitting their funds by utilizing the mobile app uh, as a mechanism to send in their contributions. So we've been very happy with the responses that we're getting from the Fijian diaspora out there. There's also a team that actually is responsible for actually ensuring that our membership and advocacy to these respective groups are continuing and ongoing. You know.
Naka, we have another question coming in through the online platforms. In layman's terms, please explain why FNPF needs to keep large general reserves. In 2024, it has increased to 2.1 billion. Can this money be distributed to members?
Probably that's a question for the actuary, but since he's not here, probably in layman's term, it's probably for rainy days. But in the Act, we are required by law to keep aside a solvency of 10%. And on top of that, we also have a policy in-house where we are required to keep aside a target capital, because we provide a capital guarantee to our members. That used to be before provided by government in the old law, but in the new law, that's no longer there. So it's there to smooth crediting interest rate year on year in times of where markets are down. We can use this reserve to credit interest to members over time, and I think it's quite important. It's a basic financial management practice. it's good financial management practice, basically.
Just to add to that, in fact, government did at one point in time guarantee its members fund. That was way back. So that guarantee has been removed. And in addition to that, there's a specific section in the Act that we do guarantee that we can pay a negative return to member, which means the preservation of the principal invested. So solvency is an intention to actually cover that gap. Government removing the guarantee, and our guarantee that will always ensure that we cannot pay a negative interest to member, which means the capital preservation of members' fund will always be there. So that solvency kicks in, solvency requirement to cover for that. So that's why not all profit are distributed. It's kept aside to cater for that legislation that were part of the Act.
Naka CFO and
And,
CEO.
and probably just to further add, since 2011, we have been subjected to actuarial certification and standards. Even before interest is declared, all the interest that we declare each year, the actuary has to certify that FNPF can pay that amount and doesn't cause any adverse, uh, it will not adversely affect FNPF's finances. So since 2011, the actuarial certification has been granted in terms of the annual accounts that FNPF has provided. That's the highest form of testing that can be done in terms of institutions like the provident funds. So it's not only audited by our external auditors, it's also actuarially certified by actuaries via the solvency certificates that the financial conditions report that's required each year. Before then, RBF approves the interest rate that we declare each year. So since 2011, FNPF's financial statements have been actuarially certified.
Naka, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any? Yes, we do have a question from the other end. Naka, sir.
Sorry. My name is Emosi. I'm a pensioner. Recently, government had reinstated part of the pension which was lost during the 2012 restructure. Now, my question, I'm still in the dark. Is there what is the arrangement between FNPF and government on the payment of this portion? Which leads to my second question. If I'm not too forward, does FNPF have plans to take over this payment? Thank you.
Thank you. I think thank you, Mr. Mosi, for the questions. I will probably refer you to the handouts that we've given. In as far as the FNPF is concerned, we have actually, based on the evidence, the facts, the advices that we have obtained, we have relayed to the government our stance, the FNPF board's stance. The payments that you are referring to has been made by the government. None of it comes from the FNPF. So that's the decision for the government to make. But in as far as FNPF is concerned, based on the advice that we have received, based on the data that we have seen, uh, and based on our assessment, uh, that is for the government to decide. As far as we are concerned, the fund, we have made our position known to the government. And the portion that you are referring to in terms of the payment, that's the payment that's been done by government, that's currently being done by government.
Thank you, sir. And any other questions from the floor? Thank you, sir. We have a gentleman in the center.
Thank you very much. My name is Suva again. Um, the executive management group seems to be doing a brilliant job fronting up to the members annually and answering difficult and not so difficult questions. I have attended about half a dozen of this. I have never seen any board member show their face. And I noticed from the last reports that the chairman attended around 80% of the meetings. The deputy chairman attended 50% of the meetings. And the whole important investment committee board, the chairman attended 1 out of 5 meetings. Do we really need them? They got a 50% director's fees increase. Completely unexplained when we have less board members now. Do we need the board when the executive management group is doing such a brilliant job?
Thank you for that, sir. Our apologies. We've got a board member that's sitting right behind them.
I stand corrected.
Susie,
Sorry.
Susie Wanganibara. If Susie is there, she just joined us this year. And thank you, Susie, for attending this forum. As for the directors, sir, that's for us. The appointment of the directors are made by the relevant laws that govern it. The appointments are made by the Ministry of by the minister. However, there's a prudent. They go through a prudent person test that's administered by the Reserve Bank of Fiji, and they have to have special skills. As you, given the size of the FNPF now, it's important for people with the right knowledge and the relevant skills in the relevant field to help in running the fund. So that's that question is above our pay grade, and it needs to be referred. But otherwise, no, we thank the board members for the the board members for the advice to us over the years, as the CEO had alluded to. They've actually guided us in terms of ensuring that the FNPF fulfills its mandate. Enough.
Naka, do we have any other questions from the floor? Then we'll take one from the online platforms. Page 7 of your summary shows that over 200,000 members have up to $5,000 balance. That's almost 50% of membership. What is the fund's strategy to help these members grow their balances?
Thank you for that question. I think the question is related to low member balances. If I'm correct, low member
That's
balances.
correct.
When we were doing the reforms, one of the things that when we looked at the fund was established in 1966. So for a fund that's now, what, 59 years old, when we did the reforms, if it was started in 1966, then it should reflect in the member balances. But however, when we looked at the balances of our members, the majority of our members had balances of less than $5,000. In fact, the bulk of our members. So what was wrong? When we looked at the root cause was because members, our preserving policy was such that members during their working life, whilst they were working to when before they reached 55, they could withdraw up to 2/3 of their monies. They could withdraw up to 2/3 of their monies. And there were 23 grounds of withdrawals. So everyone would run to the fund for Kauni Mataniwane, Tewu, you name it, wedding, everything. Everybody will run to the fund. So what we did was say, look, let's hang on, let's switch this preserving policy. So what we did, we changed the preservation policy. So now we said, okay, you can only withdraw up to 30% of your funds. The bulk of it, 70%, was preserved for your retirement, which is the case now. So before, members had access to two-thirds. And you know, being Fiji in such a small place, everyone was running to the fund to sort of try and. But there's something that I've noticed given the setting up of our member advocacy team. You know, members would now notice that when you come to bus stops, that when they see the newspapers, when they put on the radio, go onto the TV, there'll be something on the FNPF. So our member education and advocacy group has been quite active. And we have seen a change in the mindset of our people. We are seeing that already now. What we are seeing is that members are thinking twice about coming to the fund to access their monies. Previously, when you talk about 5, 6 years back, the first thing that they would go is to run to the fund. But we've already seen a change in the mindset that members are now thinking twice about withdrawing their monies from the fund, given the interest rates that they are receiving, given the accumulation that they've noticed that's accumulating quickly in their members. So we are already encouraging that, given the drive for additional contributions, given the incentives that we've told our members to sort of that they're allowed to increase their contributions. Now, if they've got a farm or something, if they harvest probably ndalo or cassava, they receive 5 or 10,000, they come in and then add to their contributions. That's allowable now. So these are the incentives we're telling our people to enable them grow their funds. So we're already seeing that mindset in the fund in terms of the change, in terms of their thinking about uh, investing in the fund because of the interest that they are getting from their investments in the fund. I thought I'd just mention that as we, it's important.
Just to add to that, I think since the change on the 70/30 and the ability to do preservation, you can see a markedly increased in the preservation balances over time. And this really goes back to I would say, the miracle of finance, which is compounding. There's a snowballing effect that has happened. And I think that's quite evident in the preserved balances over the period of time when the 70/30 was done. Naka.
Naka JMMS and CIO. I'll just read a comment and also a question that's coming through from a member. Firstly, thank you for the 8% and looking forward to 2025 interest in June. Can please elaborate on the Google FNPF Green ICT Park and upcoming projects?
Naka, again, it's a great question. The reason I say it's quite great is it's, as you know, Google, they say one they would say is the Magnificent Seven, one of the top seven in the US in terms of the listed company. Google coming to our shows has actually been a catalytic investment for us in few ways. One is obviously the ability to partner with companies like Google. They actually are lending parties with us, both here through our subsidiaries, Fintel, and also in Matandola, which they will set up an ICT facility. Obviously, Google coming in, this brings not only benefits for Fiji through connectivity and also opportunities in the IT space, and also data centers and warehousing, and also the nomadic IT jobs that do come with those. For the fund, we have opportunity not only in the leasing of the facilities, potentially discussing leaseback options with regards to the ICT facility, but also Google is giving us opportunity to look at co-investment in the infrastructure, being the fiber that crisscrosses both from the Mbulikula and the Tambua cables, which comes from Japan, Guam, Hawaii to the US, and also from Chile, Tahiti, Fiji, and to Australia. So these opportunities comes again, it's an opportunity that we have to grab the bull by the horns, so as to speak, which, as I said before, is quite catalytic for us. It allows other things that we can explore for future investment. And I think Google partnership is a testament to that fact.
Naka CIO. Perhaps we'll take a few more questions from the floor.
Gurunaka Management. My name is William. My question is: there's a lot of talks on the private, the triple P with Aspen Medical and healthcare Fiji. Can the members be highlighted on the progress of this triple P and the return on investment for the last say 3 years for this agreement? Unique.
Naka, again, it's a great question. I think one that is close to the heart of not only the fund, but also the members, but also the country as a large. Hospital investment is what we would term a social infrastructure, one that I guess the fund looks at it on multiple dimensions. One is obviously the social impact, but also the returns aspect of the investment. For the fund, I think back in 2021, entered into a PPP arrangement with government and obviously the allocated party with Aspen. And the last 3-4 years, as you're well aware in the media, is the ongoing discussions on how we can the better of the word is how best do we tidy up the arrangement that's currently in place. At the moment, if you do go to Lotoka and Ba, from a services perspective, I think there's a lot of discovery that's happening there with regards to the services uplift. But also, as you know, the Mba hospital is quite new, whereas the Lotok hospital is where largely the PPP is quite centered, is to relook at how we go through the modernization of the facility. So at the moment, maybe I could share is we are in discussions with government and also key stakeholders, including the hotel, the hospital management operators, Aspen, and obviously FNPF, is to look at a model that works well both from the hospital side in terms of services to the services on the social side, but also with regards to government and also to the fund in terms of the investment that we look at it. But again, it's a work in progress that we hope to get something in place by June on the finalization of this agreement. Mark.
Naka CIO, do we have any more questions from the floor?
Yeah. Probably just to add, answer the question that's been raised in terms of FNPF being an investment in fund. The FNPF is a long-term investor. We've got a long time horizon. When a person is born, now when a person from zero, when he's born from 1 year to 55, we've got 55 years. So unlike other financial institutions, you've got a very short-term investment horizon. But with FNPF, we've got the ability to ride the economic highs and the economic lows. So some investments you can go in and immediately gain your rewards. For some, it will take 1, 2, 3 years before we start earning dividends. So we are a long-term player, long-term investor. So sometimes we go in, we get the immediate returns, but otherwise for others we'll have to wait a while before we start generating returns. But we've got that ability to ride the economic highs and the economic lows. I thought I'd just mention that, given FNPF's position as a long-term investor rather than being a middle short-term investor.
Thank you. My name is Andrew Hongli. I'm a pensioner. For a member to become a pensioner, do they have to reach 55 or below, less than 55? Once the member reach 55, or then then they can become a pensioner. 55.
Yeah, the entitlement age is 55. You can make your choice at 55, but you don't have to make the choice. You can, if you decide to continue working, you're still employed, you can make your choice at 55, 56, 57, 58, or whatever it is. So the choice is entirely up to the member.
Thank you. So anybody below 55 is not entitled to become a pensioner.
Yes, you make your choice at 55.
On page 7 of the summary report, less than 55 years. Is on the chart there. Right? So is that correct or is it a mistake?
I guess these are nominees of pensioners that has passed on. They continuing the pension for those pensioners that has passed on. Yeah, the beneficiaries of the pensioners. Yeah. I think this is the joint pension products, eh? Yeah.
And also on the same page, on balances, I see those below 15 years, there's a number of them. When I opened the account for my namesake, we had to put in $10 or something. So I can't understand how people have zero balances in the account.
Sorry, if I may attempt to answer your question. You're right. The only way a person that is below 55 can become a pensioner is if they are a sole nominee. So if a person, a member, nominates only one person that is younger, that is below 55, then that person can become a pensioner. So it only applies for sole nominees, which is why we have people that are below 55 that are in our pensioner group because they are receiving a monthly pension amount by virtue of being a nominee. I hope that clarifies that for you, Naka.
Thank you, GMBT. We invite a few last questions from the floor. Otherwise, we also have another question here. Can FNPF keep minor nominees funds instead of paying it to High Court?
This is a very good question, but the law requires this is money that is held in trust. The law requires that this money goes to the High Court because the nominee is below 18 years old. We are in discussions with the High Court because with the High Court, that money is not invested. Because High Court is not in the business of doing investments on behalf of the minors whose money that they hold. So the fund is currently in discussions with the High Court to get this money across and open voluntary minor accounts for these nominees. So that is something that is in the pipeline, and that's something that the fund is currently pursuing with the High Court office. And discussions, as GMMS had mentioned, are currently underway. Naka.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any more questions from the floor?
Yeah, probably just whilst the people are here, and I think I just want to emphasize the importance of please all members out there update your nominations if you haven't updated your nominations. We've got cases where people haven't updated their nominations. Some when they started work, that was the only nomination that they filed, and they've started up a family, they've got married, they still haven't updated their nominations. Now, in terms of the FNPF law, once you get married, that nullifies a previous nomination that you've done. So it's important to keep your nominations updated. And if your nomination is not clear, you'll have to go through that long process and await the High Court to do that distribution for you. So your surviving members and relatives will have to await that long process. So it's important for each member that's listening in tonight. If you haven't updated your nominations, please, it's important to update your nominations. You can even update your nominations at the back there. Those people are there right now. You can go and attend to updating your nominations there. Pinak.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have time for only two more questions. So we'll give it to the floor to have our final two questions for the evening.
Bula Binaka. My name is Leone. I'm a member. And it's like a question to the management. Basically, sports is one of the biggest thing in our country right now. We have seen the success of the Nrua, the recent Fiji Rugby Union AGM. Most of the unions stated one of the problems they face is the lack of ground. And just a few days ago, we saw the tussle between soccer and rugby over international games to be held at the stadium. My question is FNPF considering of going into the sporting, investing into sports, especially the facilities? I know the national stadium is something all the sports are fighting for. And if you look at in the weekends, nearly every ground, even the school ground, some right in the interior of Tailebu, are being used for club games because of the lack of ground. Nah.
It's a good. Like any typical investment, we go through the entire feasibility to look at where we are with regards to our investment policy statement and also the thematic areas that we go into it. While some of these things until there's a scalability that we do see. For example, one of the things that we could also explore, which we are exploring at the moment, is undertaking master planning of some of our unused land. And I can say, for example, in the Western Division. And one of the provisions that the master planners are also going to consider is an allocation of a public facility. Maybe not us running it or building it, maybe it's a provision of land that can be given to government of some sort. But at least in the master planning that we are allocating, then we create sufficient scale around it for businesses like entertainment areas and things like that. And again, it goes through the same yardstick as everything else in terms of investment assessment. And if it doesn't meet it, it's something that we can explore. But again, we do understand we all love rugby and sports, so that is something that we do go through in any investment proposal.
And we will take last question for the evening.
If there are no further questions, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That now concludes the forum for this evening. Please, reminder to complete your feedback before collecting your merchandise and refreshments from our team at the back. On Thursday, we will be in Nandi at the My FNPF Center. The forum will start at 5:30 p.m. Thank you again for joining us today and have a blessed evening. Vinaka.